And welcome back to my channel. I know it's been forever and I'm sorry, but I will be explaining to you guys in this video where I've been, what I've been doing, and why I have basically been absentee, whatever the word is, absent this whole time. So before I begin, I do want to say thank you so much for the constant support and love that I've been getting on this channel despite my absence. It honestly is so heartwarming to see that people are still watching my videos, people are still subscribing. So the last time I sat in front of this camera and spoke to you guys was about December, and I had just finished my term 5 and I was starting my dedicated period. You know, I feel like there is nothing that could truly prepare you for your own personal dedicated period. You know, I definitely saw like videos on YouTube, maybe some Instagram, like people that I follow in the medical field, and they explained like what the process was going to be like, but it is that times 10. I haven't really been a crier for a while. I was a little bit of a crybaby when I was younger, but I haven't been a crybaby for a while, and this period, this dedicated, I was literally bawling my eyes out. And it's not just a cry like I'm overwhelmed. It's a cry like, am I good enough? You know, is this the right path for me? Did I mess up by, you know, choosing to put myself through this? And it's such a test of faith. It's such a test of why you want to do this, why you want to be in the medical field, why you want to be a doctor. And it's great in the end because, you know, if you make it through, you get to the other side, it shows you that you are capable of enduring this kind of stress, coming on the other side, being greater. But while you're in it, it feels like crushing. And I have to be honest with you guys, because that's the reason that I started this channel in the first place, was to explain to you guys any advice I have and tell you about my mistakes, and to just be as open and honest as I can about what this process is really like. And it was really stressful. It was really like a constant test of, is this what you really want? And so one piece of advice I can give you guys off the bat is write down why you want to become a doctor. It doesn't have to be a think piece. It doesn't have to be a dissertation, but just maybe like 1 or 2 sentences, paragraph to yourself, and just to say, you know, this is why you're in this. So for me, I didn't do that, but I would have those moments where I would be thinking to myself, like, why did you do this? Why do you want this? And especially during the pandemic, during Black Lives Matter movement, and just all of the constant information that was coming to me through Twitter, through the news, it was just a constant reinforcement of, this is why you need to do this. Just dealing with the biases in medicine, learning about the history of African Americans in this country, the disconnect with getting the vaccine or whatever the case may be. So it was compounded on my personal reasons for wanting to become a doctor with all of this information that kind of helped to drive me, you know, and that is something that I held on to while I was having those moments of self-doubt. And so I encourage you guys to keep something like that with you and just kind of use it to remind yourself of why you're doing this in the first place, because this will definitely test you. So I did mention that I had a tutor that I got around, I think it was July or August of last year. And we worked a little bit during my final term in my second year, and then a lot more intensely during my dedicated period, because he had set a schedule for me. It was kind of broken down day to day, because at first it was like week to week, but I'm the kind of person that needs a complete like hour by hour breakdown for my day to know that I'm staying on track and staying, you know, on top of everything that I need to do. Overall, I use what everybody else uses, like the UFAP method, which is basically UWorld, First Aid, and Pathoma. I had to put Boards and Beyond in there a little bit as well, because there were some topics like cardio that I just know that me and cardio will never get along. Like, we're just not friends. We're not cool like that. It was kind of like one of those things where I had to just learn what I could to get through the question. If you have any weak points, that would be probably the best place to start, because you want to really make sure that you are, you know, hammering those in so that by the end of your dedicated period, you're a little bit at ease with that information. So getting a tutor is actually more on the expensive side, I will say. So these are just things to keep in mind if you're getting ready to do your step prep. The test itself for an IMG is upwards of $1,000, because the actual test is, I think, $965. And then to get your ECFMG ID, that's like another $110 or so. So overall, you're looking at over $1,000 for this exam. And then on top of that, tutoring services can be upwards of $2,000, $3,000 or more. So this process is definitely expensive. So that's something to keep in mind while you're prepping for this period, if you are thinking about taking the step and all that stuff. So when I first started, I was set to have my date for March 17th, but then after I spoke with my tutor, we kind of discussed that it wasn't really the time for me to actually take the test at that time. We ended up pushing it back until April 1st. Thankfully, I set it for that time around March 17th so that I could still make the April 1st cutoff to start rotations on time, because my school kind of had it set where if you take it on or before April 1st, you can start the rotations by May 24th, which is like the first cycle of rotations. I think that's one of the benefits of having a tutor, where there were times where I was doubting myself as far as, will I be able to make the score that I want? And, you know, am I doing the right thing and all that stuff? And he was kind of there to encourage me and just tell me, like, Olivia, calm down. Like, because I would literally have these breakdown points. I'm not going to make it. I'm going to fail. I'm a failure. I can't do this. Like, stop. I quit, like all that stuff. And he would literally just be like, take a deep breath. You're doing great. You're making progress the way you should be. Like, I went from just passing. So, you know, making that progress through and making those strides to the score that I wanted towards the end, you know, it was a bit of a process, because I definitely hit a plateau. And then at that period, it just felt like so frustrating, because it was like, I'm learning new stuff, I'm testing myself, doing everything right. And for 4 weeks straight, like, kid you not, for 4 weeks straight, I was getting the exact same scores on my NBMEs. Like, I took an NBME once a week, and for 4 weeks straight, I was getting the exact same score, like plus or minus 1 or 2 points. So it was so frustrating, because it's like, I know in this whole month, I had to learn something, Jesus. Like, you know what I mean? Like, anything, you know? And so getting the same score over and over again, it kind of feels like I was stagnant. So I was getting so annoyed and sad with myself. And we were also like, you know, 2-3 weeks out from my exam. And that's when he was like, you know what? Let's push it back. Let's change some things up. Let's focus on, you know, how to answer questions more so than content. How to, you know, approach a question where you might not know what exactly the answer might be, but you have some kind of information about this topic or this topic or this topic, so that you can get to an answer even if you don't know what the actual like issue or diagnosis might be. And that helped me tremendously, because from that plateau that I hit and shifting my exam back, that allowed me to literally go up like 20 points in my practice exams. But yeah, so I moved my test back, and it was such a strange process, because walking out of the test, I don't even know how to explain it. It felt like the middle of the exam was just a fog. Like, I don't remember, you know, it was so weird. Like, it was like, was I reading the questions right? Was I using the tools and tricks that my tutor had taught me? Like, I just genuinely don't remember the middle of the exam, which freaks me out. So the beginning, it was like, I felt super strong, like reading questions, summarizing after every sentence, like literally using all the tricks. Again, the middle, a fog. Don't remember, PTSD, yeah. Then towards the end of the exam, then I remembered again, like using my tips and tricks. I remember there was one question about sickle cell anemia. And I remember thinking, like looking at the answer choices, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on here. What are you talking about? But then I kept reading it over and over again. And then I kind of made a connection, and I was able to answer the question. And literally that was like the only thing that kept me from like crying in that exam, because it was just like, okay, maybe you're not a dummy. Maybe you did learn something all this time. Now that I've gotten my score back and all of the information has been sent into my school, I've officially been set to start my rotations this May. I am over the moon and so nervous because there are so many little details that you have to do and figure out. Like, for example, like the medical clearance. If I show you guys, like, I probably still have it. I don't even know. My arm was swollen because I had to get so many freaking shots. Like, I was non-immune to Hep B. I was non-immune to MMR. So I literally would go to my doctor's office like week after week, getting shot after shot after shot. And it was like, I know you're tired of seeing me because I'm tired of seeing you, and I'm over this. Like, it was such an annoying process because I'm trying to study and then I have to constantly like leave my work area, go all the way to my doctor's office, get stabbed in the arm, get blood drawn, all this stuff. And it was just like so annoying. So finally, when everything came back, immune, set, I sent that in. Finally, everything was set to go. And so starting like towards the end of May, May 24th, I will be starting surgery. And of course, I'm starting with surgery because you know, you hear from other upper termers who have started their rotations that, you know, they're in the hospital at like 4:30, 5:30 in the morning for surgery rotations. Or like for most of their rotations, they're in there pretty early, but surgery has been consistently across the board, like where people are like, yeah, it's 4:30 a.m., it's 5:30 a.m., and I'm outside the hospital to start my rotations. And I'm like, y'all, I'm not a morning person. I'm not. Like, waking up for the gym at 7 a.m. is a struggle. And that's 7 a.m., like waking up at 7 a.m. So you mean to tell me that I need to be at the hospital at 5:30? Who? Me? Because, so we're going to figure this out because obviously I can't be late and I can't be, you know, absent. So now what I wanted to do was we got to move because I'm in Long Island and my rotations are going to be in Brooklyn, and there's no way that I'm about to commute for an hour, hour and a half on top of the fact that I have to be there at 5:30. I use this opportunity to move in with my boyfriend because we've been together for about 7 years now. And, you know, it only makes sense that we take the next step in our relationship. And on top of that, now I can be 30 minutes from the hospital. I could have done closer, but where we're going to live is going to be even and fair for the both of us so that not one person has like an hour commute while the other person has like a 10-minute commute, you know? So we both pretty much have like about a 30-minute commute. But I'm honestly so excited because I feel like there's just so many new things happening right now, like moving out of my parents' house and starting my rotation. So it just feels like I'm kind of finally coming into my own skin and finally becoming an adult. And it's just so exciting for me. So I honestly cannot wait for what's going to happen in this next chapter. I can't wait to bring you guys along and to share all of my, you know, experiences and fears and excitement with you guys about what's going to be happening next. And as always, if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any comments, advice, I am literally willing to hear it all. So thank you so much for your continued support. And I really hope that you guys come back for more videos. I'm sorry that I've been missing, but I hope, I can't say I will, but I will hope that there won't be another break as long as this one. I will see you guys in my next video, and thanks again. Bye.